We got laid off.
Banks got paid off.
We got laid off.
Banks got paid off.
We got laid off.
People are too big to fail. We, the people, are too big to fail.
We, the people, are too big to fail. We, the people, are too big to fail. We, the people, are too big to fail. We, the people, are too big to fail.
Oh, that's sick.
The people are too
Good work.
big to fail.
Live streaming. Say hello to our live streamers. What's up?
The people are too big to fail. We, the people, are too big to fail.
The people are too big to fail.
We, the people, are too big to fail.
We, the people, are too big to fail. We, the people, are too big to fail. We, the people, are too big to fail. We, the people, are too big to fail.
That. And we have a very clear message here today, and I'm so grateful to be joined by so many talented teachers and educators here in front of Chase Bank, because I believe in just a short lesson plan here, you will know exactly what's wrong with Chase Bank. So if I could get my lead teacher up to the front to walk us through this tax problem that Chase has in Washington State and the problem with the bailout. Please gather around.
Yo, Matt.
People in the front can sit down, and then
People in front can sit down so people in the back can see. People can sit down.
I wish I had my projector camera. We can put it up on the wall here for better viewing. Let's just go ahead and document camera. I know. Now I'm going to take off. So right here, in this one, a chart that basically shows corporate income taxes as a share of the gross domestic product. On the far left side is 1946, and this graph goes up to 2009. And so you can see that as the decades have gone by in our country, as corporations have made more money and have done better, their percentage of the income tax share of the gross domestic product has just dropped and dropped and dropped down to its lowest levels it's ever been. They're doing better than they've ever done. They're posting record profits every quarter, but they're paying a lower percentage of in taxes to as their percent of the gross domestic product. Now, here in Washington State, so that's nationwide, here in Washington State, we always hear as teachers what the priorities are. And we're always told it's our fault when we don't have enough early learning. We're told it's all our fault when we don't provide a high-quality education for all students. We're told it's our fault when we don't prepare adults for meaningful careers. And the number one thing that we always hear about is we do not cultivate opportunities for our students to go into higher education. Well, let's look at how Washington State has funded those just from the last couple of years. There's been a drop of 8.8% in funding of early learning. There's been a drop of over 10% in providing a high-quality education to all students. There's been a drop of almost 12.5% in funding for preparing adults for meaningful careers. And the number one thing we always hear about, which is getting our students ready for college and higher education, down 17.2% just in the 2009 school year. Now let's tie it together with this one. Now, Ron Perry, running for president, the governor of Texas, yeah, well, he's under a lot of flack because his state has one of the highest, most regressive state income taxes out there. The poorest 20% in Texas pay about 12% of their income. They got nothing on Washington State. We're number one in the most regressive tax system in the United States. Our poorest 20% of the population here in Washington, they pay an effective 17.3% of their entire income. These are the bottom 20% of wage earners in Washington State are paying over 17% of their meager incomes because we rely on sales tax. In case you're wondering what the top 1% pays here in Washington State, 2.9%. So we're way above Texas. We're way above Florida. Florida's in second place with most regressive. They're only 13.5% taxing their poor. We're at almost 17.5% tax rate on our poorest 20% of our citizens in this state. He's got another poster here. Oh wait, in case you're worried about JP Morgan Chase, by the way, you know, they've had hard times. The stock market's been down. JP Morgan website, we got this graph that shows their profit margins right now are better than they've ever been. They're pushing 18% on their investment. Interesting that the poorest 20% here in Washington State pay almost 18% of their income in taxes, and they're making 18% on their investments here. So they're doing just fine, so let's not worry about JP Morgan Chase. Like I said, their profit margin is better right now than it has ever been. All right, right here we've got a double one. Now this one looks a lot better in color, but basically it shows the national debt increases and decreases under the various Republican and Democratic presidencies back to President Carter. And as you can see, if you get a look at this, every single Republican time was a Republican in office, the national debt skyrocketed. And, you know, sometimes I wish the Democrats would stand up and do a little more, as I'm sure we all do. However, you look at that, and you look at especially Bill Clinton's last year in office, it was like the lowest increase to the national debt that's like ever been seen. But of course, Bush 2 got in, and it shot right back up again. So that's just pretty graphic representation. The little graph on the left side shows the percent of job creation for each decade. And what does that say for the 2000s? What's the job creation percentage there?
0%.
0%. 0%. And of course, the icing on the cake. Jamie Dimon, the CEO of Chase Manhattan Bank. I actually think he's coming here next week for something. I wasn't invited, so I'm not sure what he's coming here for.
5:30.
All right, we're all invited there. Let's all go down and say hi. We'll ask him why he's earning $20.8 million a year, which could fund over 250 teachers. Or 250 any middle-class workers that you want to put in there with this graphic. He works harder than we do, right? So there we go, real graphic representation. You know, do the math. Who's better for our society? Who do we need more in this country and in this state? Do we need the CEO of Chase Bank making $20.8 million? Or could we use an extra, I don't know, 250 teachers or so? Paying attention, because we are teachers and you are going to be tested right now. So hold on a second. There's multiple choice. So get your notes out.
Pencil and pad ready? I handed this test to both bank managers here today, and I'm sorry to say that I'm afraid they're going to fail. The first question that we asked them to address was, who said, quote, "There is a lot of money washing around the world, and obviously we are the beneficiaries of that." A history teacher at Garfield High School. B, a student in the bilingual education program in the Seattle schools. C, a nurse at Harborview. Or D, Chase CEO Jamie Dimon. Is she listening? Did you get that? It's D. Which entity is responsible for the Great Recession? Your child's third grade teacher? The janitor who cleans the school? The elementary school counselors? Or greedy slime bags like the Chase CEO? Who should be arrested for their criminal behavior? A, teachers protesting for more money for public schools. Parents who demand that the state fully fund education. C, school cafeteria employees asking for a raise and coming to protest. Or D, Chase Bank executives whose failure to pay their share of taxes has contributed to bankrupting our state. D. Kept it simple, the answers are all D. And if you paid attention to the lesson today, we know that Chase Bank and the other Wall Street banks that got bailed out from your money, from my money, from the money for our future and our kids' future has all been stolen, and it's been given to these CEOs. But I think that's really the beginning of the problem, because I think we face another problem, that they've used that money to buy the political process in this country. They use that money to control the government in this country, to enact tax policies that tax the poor and let the rich off the hook. And so we are marching today on a global day of protest of Occupy movements across the country, Occupy movements across the world. We're going for a Robin Hood tax. For financial transactions that would amount to billions of dollars that could be used to meeting human need instead of profit margins. And so when we talk about the problem of these CEOs using the money they've stolen from us to buy off the government, then I think we also should realize where the power lies to change this situation. Because I believe that hope and change, and I believe that real change is not made from who's sitting in the White House, but as Howard Zinn said, it's made by who's sitting in the streets. And who's making the change, and that is you right here today, right? And I'm reminded when I see people like this getting together of a famous quote from a socialist, Eugene Debs, who said these words in 1918. He was arrested for speaking out against the First World War, right? He violated the Sedition Act in the world's greatest democracy, and he spoke out against the war. He spoke out against the war, and he addressed the judge in that courtroom. This is a lesson that I often, that my kids will be coming up on very soon, and he said these words. He said, "I'm opposed to a social order." He said it to the judge. "I'm opposed to a social order in which it is possible to do nothing that is of any use to humanity and amass hundreds of millions of dollars." We could update that today, it would be billions. "And yet those who do things that are useful to humanity have not." That is what the basic message that needs to be revived. It is a basic message of equality. It is a basic message of fairness. But we know that they will not give it up without a struggle. And that's why teachers are here today to say that struggle is now, that struggle is coming, and that struggle is only gaining momentum.
They don't stand a chance.